This morning, whether the Justice Department releases the Epstein files is now up to the president.
Plus, case closed. We have an update for you on the investigation into a deadly house fire near Mason.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News this morning.
Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 19th. I'm Kirk Montgomery.
And I'm Megan Vaselli. Thanks for waking up with us today. 6 News is here for you as you start your day. But first, here's Katie with a quick check of your forecast.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
On the Jackson camera, downtown looks nice. Visibility recovered plenty from what we saw yesterday morning with all that rain and sleet, even snow mixing in. But we can't quite see what's happening in the sky. We'll have to wait until sunrise for that. Sunrise time 7:36, sunset 5:12. We do have some clouds in the forecast for today. We'll talk about how fast they'll move out coming up in a little bit.
And we continue to follow breaking news this morning out of Ingham County.
A semi-truck trailer caught on fire on US 127, causing part of the highway to shut down for several hours.
Now, 6 News was on scene, and here's what we know so far. This semi was heading north when one of its back tires caught on fire.
It happened around 1:30 this morning near exit 64, which is just south of the Kip Road overpass.
First responders on the scene told our crew that the cab separated from the trailer. They told us nobody has been hurt, and at the time the trailer was empty but now destroyed.
Again, those northbound lanes were closed for several hours. Stay with 6 News as we work to bring you updates.
Also this morning, the bill forcing the Justice Department to release all of the unclassified Epstein files is headed to President Trump's desk.
As Jared Hill reports, this comes after nearly unanimous bipartisan support in both the House and Senate.
Once a long shot,
the bill is passed.
Now a done deal. 427 to 1, House lawmakers approved a measure to force the Department of Justice to release files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Hours later, unanimous consent to clear the Senate once the bill arrives today.
The Senate has now passed the Epstein bill.
We did it!
Outside the Capitol, Epstein survivors celebrated after sharing their stories.
This was me at 14 years old. I was a child.
Jenalisa Jones spoke about how she met Epstein at his home in Palm Beach.
It was my first encounter with a man, and in that manner, and it set the tone for the rest of my life.
Tuesday's vote, the culmination of months-long pressure and drama on Capitol Hill.
What do the American people want to know? They want to know who else visited Epstein's Island, who raped young girls, who abused young girls.
I want to see every single name released so that these women don't have to live in fear and intimidation.
After working to try and get some Republicans to vote against the measure, President Trump has said he would sign the Epstein documents bill. Still Tuesday, he bristled at questions.
You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax.
And called it a distraction. Posting on social media, he wants Republicans to focus on all of the victories since he took office. Jared Hill, CBS News.
This morning, Governor Whitmer takes aim at President Trump's tariff strategy, saying his broad approach is making everything more expensive.
While outlining her critiques, the governor issued a renewed call for a more precise, strategic approach to tariffs.
In an op-ed published this week in the Washington Post, Governor Whitmer wrote that these tariffs are, quote, crushing Michigan, noting rising prices in the state and a higher than normal rate of layoffs. Now she's advocating for the administration to use revenue from these tariffs to invest in American businesses and workers. It comes after last week the president announced he's nixing U.S. tariffs on beef, coffee, spices, and more in an attempt to bring down grocery prices. PBS News reports the president's tariffs have generated about $117 billion in new revenue.
Pilots and workers from Allegiant Airlines are saying enough is enough and are picketing nationwide, demanding new labor contracts and what they call fair compensation. They say they're losing pilots to other airlines, which puts flight schedules in jeopardy. Meanwhile, Allegiant says they have offered competitive packages to their workers, and they want to continue to negotiate in good faith. In their negotiations, they claim they've offered an immediate 50% raise in wages, direct contribution to pilots' retirement benefits by 50%, and a retention bonus.
We put our
blood, sweat, and tears into this. We love our job, and we simply just want to be shown respect and paid equally among our peers in the industry.
Allegiant says the picketing will not impact flights, and they will be operating at full schedule.
We can now update you on last week's deadly house fire near Mason. This morning, the Ingham County Sheriff's Office identifies the victim and closes the investigation. The fire started at a home on South Aurelius Road around 4:30 Friday morning. 6 News brought you live to the scene throughout the morning as crews worked to put out the flames. Once inside, investigators found the body of 83-year-old Dirk Spillemakers, who the Mason Fire Department confirms was the only victim. And now the Sheriff's Office says there was no foul play and the case is closed.
This morning, Jackson's historic Brown Floral Company is one step closer to being preserved and revitalized after the City Council unanimously approved a brownfield redevelopment plan. The floral shop on Greenwood Avenue was established back in 1865 and has remained in the same family ever since. Our media partners at MLive report a new owner bought the property last month with plans to expand it as a community hub with events like DIY terrarium workshops and seasonal wreath making. Previously, the property operated as a gas station and still contains 2 underground storage tanks, which the brownfield plan will support the removal of. Construction is expected to start this year and finish next year.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Early risers are treated to a much nicer forecast this morning now that we've dried things up on the Capitol camera, and you'll find that's the case across the area. Yesterday's system was a fast mover and really in the long run didn't do much. We don't even have much snow on the ground in many spots, and with temperatures that are above freezing, it does mean that we are seeing that melt away if you did have any. Temperatures yesterday made it into the upper 30s to even low 40s, and this morning we still are seeing spots along I-94 above freezing. It has cooled down a little bit more to the north though because we've cleared out our cloud cover. That cloud cover will come back later this afternoon, so if you get to see any sunshine this morning, enjoy it. Mushu probably going to enjoy some sunbathing in the window before we turn cloudy. Now the clouds are going to keep us dry. The chance for rain doesn't sneak in until tomorrow, but another downside to the cloud cover is it keeps the sun from warming us up. Highs today only in the low 40s, so you'll definitely still want to have a jacket with you when you head out with your pets.